Good evening, students. Sorry for the delay. Last 4 days I have been unable to upload any new video. Actually, there was a lot going on in the office and there were campaigns, so I didn't get any time. Also, it is very hard for preparing PPT on the mobile. It takes a lot of time actually. So, okay, let's start. Let's not waste any time. You can watch the video in 1.25x or 1.5x if that suits you, because time is very precious and you should not waste any time. Okay, so moving on. First question on your screen. You can also take a pen and copy with you, then that will help you take any notes for your future reference. Okay, so first question, select the most appropriate option to substitute the underlined segment. If no substitution is required, select no substitution required. You will never become a good reader until reading are done with a purpose. So the correct option is until reading is done with a purpose. Okay, next question. Select the most appropriate meaning of the given idiom. Okay, idioms are important. They at least 2 to 3 idioms they will ask in each paper. Idioms is a must question, so you should practice idioms. Select the most appropriate meaning of the given idiom. Fly the nest. The options are children returning home after studying abroad, to run at a very fast pace to reach home, to lose direction and not reach one's direction, children leaving their parents' home to live on their own. And the correct answer is children leaving their parents' home to live on their own. So this type of questions actually you can do a guess. You can eliminate the rest of the options to come at the correct answer. You can have a fair idea on what will be the answer. It's not that hard. Okay, next question. Select the most appropriate option to substitute the underlined segment in the given sentence. If there is no need to substitute it, select no substitution required. Many industrialists are coming onward to help migrant workers find employment in their villages and cities. And the correct answer is coming forward. Industrialists are coming forward. Coming forward means to make things happen, to take a step. To take a step. Or initiate something. Okay. Next question. Select the most appropriate one-word substitution for the given group of words. A gentle song sung to put a child to sleep. Okay, this is very easy. It's lullaby. Okay. So, chorus is something that is sung together. Sung together. Okay. Prayer is offered to somebody like God, or maybe your school or institution. Okay. And hymn is completely religious. It's a religious song. It's a religious prayer or song. Okay. Next question. Select the most appropriate option to substitute the underlined segment in the given sentence. When have you been waiting for me here? This is perhaps the easiest question. So I guess you must have guessed it correctly. How long have you been waiting here for me? How long have you been waiting for me here? So, okay, next question. Select the most appropriate antonym of the given word subtle. What is the opposite of subtle? Antonym means opposite. Opposite word of subtle. Okay, the opposite word of subtle is harsh. So subtle means mild. Okay, the opposite is harsh. The rest are synonyms. Faint. Faint means to faint, also means to go senseless. Okay, slight means subtle only. It's a synonym. Okay. So next question. Select the incorrectly spelled word. Which word is not spelled correctly? So try to concentrate on the question. What is it saying? It is saying incorrect. Which is incorrect? Okay, many times we just skip to answers thinking that what is the, try to find the answer before you have reading the question properly. So always read the question properly. So incorrectly spelled word is gradual. Gradual. Gradual spelling is GRADUAL. Gradual. Okay. Mutual, manual, and usual are correct. Next question. Fill in the blanks with the most appropriate words. These discount coupons are dash for only 6 months from the date of issue. So it is talking something about, you can understand, it is talking about expiry. So coupons will be valid for 6 months. Okay, rest options don't fit here. Select the most appropriate synonym of the given word stern. So you can also do this question by the method of, okay, this one is very easy. Stern means strict. Stern means strict, and the rest are all opposite. Mild, lenient, and gentle all means is the opposite of strict. It's mean, okay. Next question. Identify the segment in the sentence which contains a grammatical error. Why did you spend so much money on an old and useless furniture? So the answer is why did you spend? It will be why did you spend? SPEND. The present form it will be used here because we already used did. So there cannot be two past tense. Why did you spend? Okay, next question. Select the most appropriate synonym of the given word. Synonym means similar meaning. Which word is similar to the word provoke? Which word is similar to the word provoke? Provoke means to enrage. Means to push someone to do something. Provoking someone. Like, for example, I provoked him to cheat in the exam. Like, initially he didn't want to cheat maybe, but I provoked him. Like I said, maybe if you cheat then you will get more marks in the examination. So I provoked him to do something. Okay. Enrage means the same thing as provoke. But you should not cheat in exam. Cheating is not good. Okay. Next question. Identify the segment in the sentence which contains a grammatical error. They went on talking while the teacher were teaching an important lesson. The correct answer is teacher were teaching. The correct answer should be the teacher was teaching. While the teacher was teaching an important lesson. So was is used for singular. Teacher is singular. There is one teacher who was teaching something. While he was teaching something important, then students or someone, they were talking. So where will be used when there are plural? Like they were. They were going to the fair. Or students were going to the school. Okay, like that. Okay. Next. Select the most appropriate one-word substitution for the given group of words. Undue favor shown to one's relatives. Okay, this one I think many people will know. It's a quite common term used. You might be hearing it nowadays everywhere. So undue favor shown to one's relative is, you might have guessed it correctly, it's nepotism. Like celebrities, Bollywood celebrities, they get chance in Bollywood through nepotism. Okay, if you follow Coffee with Karan, then you must be very you must have heard this word at least once. Okay, so nationalism is for country. When we have undue love for some country, for our own country. Despotism means cruelty. Like despot means a cruel ruler. So if a ruler is using cruel means to control someone, that is despotism. And narcissism means you have too much who is engrossed in oneself, like too much self aware. Okay. Next question. Fill in the blank with the most appropriate word. My employer dash my salary last year. My employer raised my salary last year. Everyone wants a raise. Okay. I would also love if my employer raises my salary. Means to increase the salary. Okay, next question. I am tired dash reminding you to clean your room. I am tired of reminding you to clean your room. Tired of. So you can remember like that. Tired of. Tired of something. So in this case, tired of reminding. Like, okay, tired always generally comes with of only. Tired is generally followed by of in most cases. Okay. Next question. Swami Dayanand dash the Arya Samaj. So the answer will be founded. So Swami Dayanand is the founder of Arya Samaj, or Swami Dayanand founded the Arya Samaj. Founded means to form. Invented is used when it is for some objects, like who invented the telephone or who invented the electric bulb, like that. Okay. Discovered is for places, like who discovered, like Columbus discovered America, like that. Okay. Next. Select the most appropriate antonym of the given word cease. Okay. Cease means to actually stop. So the opposite would be start. Very easy. Cease means to stop. Okay. Identify the segment in the sentence which contains a grammatical error. The elegance furnished drawing room indicated that the owner had a good taste. So the answer would be the elegance furnished. Why? Because it will be the elegant furnished. It would be the elegant furnished room. So elegant is the adjective. It is defining the room, which is a noun. The adjective is used for defining a noun. And what is the adjective defining? It is the defining the room. So it will be elegant. The elegant furnished drawing room indicated that the owner had a good taste. Okay. Next question. Select the incorrectly spelled word. Mediocre, legible, opaque, suggestion. Which is incorrectly spelled? The answer is suggestion. So in suggestion there will be 2G. Suggestion. There is a, while you pronounce it, there is a pressure you have to apply here. Suggestion. It is pronounced like that. And mediocre, legible, and opaque all are correct. Mediocre means average. Opaque means which is not transparent. Not transparent. Legible is not illegible. Means you are allowed to do something. Like you are eligible for. If I say you are illegible for driving, that means you can't drive, or you are ineligible to apply for this exam because you have crossed your age, maybe. So like that. So if you are legible, you can apply for the exam. So legible is the used for positive. Okay. Next. Question number 20. Select the most appropriate meaning of the given idiom. Okay, another idioms here. Your guess is as good as mine. To have the same idea as another, to have no idea of the answer, to play a guessing game, to have better idea than other. Okay, so answer is to have no idea of the answer. I also don't know, you also don't know the answer. So your guess is as good as mine means to have no idea of the answer. Okay. Next. There is a passage here. Please read the passage. Okay. Albert soon got to learn the language of Dash native people. Now he could talk to Dash about their problems. They too began to dash him for advice. Some Dash were too shy to share their concerns. Albert eventually dashed them that he was there. So he is actually when it's a problem in the fonting. That he was there to assist them in all matters. So first question, of the paragraph, select the most appropriate option to fill in the blank number 1. Okay, so answer is already shown. Albert soon got to learn the language of the native people. Language of the native people. Now he could talk to blank number 2 about their problems. So now he could talk to them about their problems. They too began to what? Approach him for advice. They came to him for advice. They approached him, or they went to him for advice. Some people dash were too shy to share their concerns. Some people dash. So which one will be the correct answer? Furthermore, however, therefore, moreover. Some people, however, were too shy to share their concerns. Means actually it is however can be replaced by but. Like they too began to approach him for advice, and then but some people were too shy. So in other way you can write some people, however, were too shy to share their concerns. Okay. Next, Albert eventually blank number 5. So what will be there? Blank number 5. Select the most appropriate option to fill the blank number 5. Answer is assured, settled, decided, confirmed. So Albert eventually assured them. Made them believe that he can assist them in all matters. Assured means assurance, to give assurance. Okay. So these are some English questions. We will do reasoning next day on. But I have something else to study English. Like this, if you study English, it is not very fruitful. I just wanted to show you some questions. Okay, so this is okay. So I collected this newspaper article from the Indian Express of 5th May. Okay, so I will be reading the paragraph, but try to see what parts are highlighted, and I will discuss some questions which might be asked from this paragraph. So this will actually help you in understanding English better. So let's proceed with the paragraph. The RBI has decided to take the bull by the horns. So bull by the horns is an idiom. Okay, so if you are having a pen and copy, you can note it down. Bull by the horn means to take the bull by the horn. It means to deal decisively with a difficult or dangerous situation. Means to tackle a situation decisively, or understanding the situation well and behaving accordingly with it. Not to do something suddenly. Okay. To take a good decision. It means to take a good decision. It has raised the repo rate by 40 basis points and the cash reserve ratio by 50 points to fight inflation. Inflation means the general rise in the level of goods and services. General rise in price of goods and services means inflation. Okay, we believe this simultaneous policy announcement of adjusting both the rate and quantum of liquidity is a clever ploy. So, ploy means a plan to turn a situation to one's own advantage. Ploy means to turn a situation to one's own advantage. So, you can note down an antonym of ploy. A synonym of ploy would be ruse, R-U-S-E. The synonym of ploy would be ruse. Ruse is a synonym of ploy. Interestingly, research clearly shows that credibility and reputation of the central bank is best recognized only when the market response to central bank liquidity operation is stronger. To that extent, RBI seems to have killed two birds with one stone. Killed two birds with one stone is another idiom. Okay. Killed two birds with one stone means to achieve two aim at once. Okay. Means you are achieving two things with one attempt. That is killing two birds with one stone. and has emerged stronger as an inflation targeting central bank. In fact, the surprise midterm announcement by the RBI governor today, RBI governor is Shaktikanta Das, you must know this, today is clear departure from past practices. It also signals the extraordinary times we live in. The most interesting aspect of rate hike today is the continuation of the accommodative policy stance. So accommodative means adjusting. Accommodate. To accommodate means to adjust. While the markets seem to have taken aback. Taken aback means shocked or surprised. We believe today's rate hike should be seen more from a strategy perspective rather than as a change in monetary policy stance. We believe this is a pragmatic decision. Okay, another good word. Pragmatic means to deal things sensibly. Pragmatic means to deal things sensibly. We believe this is a pragmatic or sensible decision, as the CRR hike may be just an attempt to build up a war chest on the liquidity front. Okay. So war chest is a term like before war they used to have a chest with all the guns and thing, but here it means to prepare for something. War chest means to prepare for something. It's the preparation. To be more precise, liquidity inflows to the financial system could be either policy induced by the central bank, for example, changes in reserves, open market operations, etc., or non-policy induced. Foreign exchange reserves, government cash balances, and currency in circulation. Given that non-policy induced liquidity inflows have been recently impacted outflows of portfolio capital, and given the huge size of government borrowing program, RBI also needs to support the market through some means. Impounding bank reserves through the CRR, rupees 87,000 crore, could give some space to central bank to conduct open market purchases of bonds from banks and thus inject concomitant liquidity. So concomitant means what? Concomitant means naturally accompanying or associated. Okay, so opposite of concomitant would be unassociated or unrelated. So concomitant means related. Synonym of concomitant would be attendant. Synonym of concomitant would be attendant or accompanying or associated. So thus inject concomitant liquidity sometime in future if the need so arises. The RBI has followed a similar strategy during 2003 to 2008. When the market stabilization bonds were introduced, the CRR was also hiked. The CRR rate hike is thus an important tool to possibly manage GSEC yields. GSEC means government security. The markets may have missed the fine print of this move. Across the world, major central banks of late gone on a rate hike spree, waking up to the realization. Okay, so the video stopped recording in between. Okay, where was I? Yeah. Across the world, major central banks have of late gone on a rate hike spree, waking up to the realization of inflationary pressures not being transitory in nature. Transitory means moving. Okay. So it means inflationary pressures will continue to be there. In other words, the US Fed has been on the offensive, battling a 40-year high surge in prices. Offensive means to take an attacking position. It has tapered its bond purchase program drastically while suggesting in no uncertain terms the pace of rate hikes needed to combat inflation. Okay. Tapered means lowered at the end or reduced at the end. The European Union has been slow to respond, but voices are growing to correct the path at the earliest. Banks like Central Bank of Brazil or Russian Central Bank have almost jumped the gun. Jump the gun means to take a decision suddenly. Or in other words, act too speedily or hastily. Act too hastily or speedily. Haste means speed. Okay. Haste means quick actually, not speed. Haste means quick. Quick decision. Okay. Emerging economies have been doubly hit. The days of easy liquidity are well behind them, even as their economic resources remain constrained to support an uneven proportion of population coming out of the strains induced by successive waves of pandemic. Constraint means limited. The resources are limited for the population that is that has been affected by the pandemic. To this extent, the decision by the RBI to front load the rate hikes ahead of the Fed decision is again an attempt to stem capital outflows. Including the RBI's decision today to push the benchmark rate to align with the current market realities, 21 countries have increased interest rates so far. Of these, 14 countries have hiked rates more than or equal to 50 bps. Markets are also expecting a 50 bps rate hike by the US Fed in its policy meeting concluding today, the biggest since 2000. It would also be the first in 16 years that the US Fed will hike borrowing costs at two consecutive meetings. Consecutive means like 1 and 2, they are consecutive numbers. Consecutive also means successive, means which is afterwards, that is happening afterwards, like first meeting and the second meeting is the successive meeting. And consecutive means which are consecutive or which are happening one after the other. Consecutive means happening one after the other. A historical disaggregation of India's retail inflation. Disaggregation means separation into components. Okay. So what are the components of retail inflation? They are trying to ascertain or understand. Ascertain the various macro factors that drove inflation dynamics indicates that the inflationary pressures can be attributed mainly to adverse cost push factors coming from supply side shocks in food and fuel prices. So inflation is mainly caused by increasing food and fuel prices. You must have been following the news that fuel prices are at all-time high due to the ongoing crisis between Russia and Ukraine. Okay, so even as weak aggregate demand conditions continue to exert downward pressure on inflation. Okay, so demand is actually poor, which should have caused less inflation, but actually there is a supply side shock, that is adverse cost push factors, that is pushing up the inflation. Mainly food and fuel prices. The RBI statement thus cites food inflation as the major source of discomfort. Additionally, nominal rural wages for both agricultural and non-agricultural laborers picked up during the second half of 2021-2022. However, such wage growth has remained soft. The weighted contribution of wage growth in CPI build-up remains modest, and this is a good sign as far as anchoring of inflationary expectations is concerned. Anchor means the anchor of a ship, which is used to put the ship into the shore so that it does not float away. So anchoring here means to control or to fix it into a position, or in other words, it means to resist or fix it. Okay. Measures to ameliorate supply side cost pressures. Ameliorate means to reduce. To reduce supply side cost pressures would be thus critical at this juncture, especially in terms of calibrated reduction of taxes on petrol and diesel. On the policy side, however, it would mean that even after rate hikes, inflation may continue to remain high for some time. Okay. As retail loans have increasingly been benchmarked to external rates, mostly to RBI's repo rate with quarterly reset clause, the loans benchmarked to the repo rate may increase in the range of 35 to 40 bps, passing on the hike in full, as banks don't keep a wider spread in retail loans to remain competitive in the market. As of December 2021, around 39.2% of the loans are benchmarked to external benchmarks. Means the interest on loan rate is dependent or is directly related to the repo rate. So if repo rate increases, the interest will increase. That is what it is trying to say. Okay. So the increase in repo rate will increase the interest rate costs on consumers and may impact them from next quarter onwards. The MCLR, or marginal cost of fund-based lending rate linked loans, have a share of around 53% in the overall loan kitty. Kitty means fund, overall loan fund, which with the rise in CRR and expected future hikes in the benchmark rates, there would be an increase in MCLR due to a negative carry. Furthermore, if banks raise the deposit rates, then the cost of funds will also increase, and subsequently the MCLR will increase too. The RBI, in our view, has acted prudently. Prudently means in a way that shows thought for the future. Means to act decisively or to take a decision understanding what will be its future outcomes. in responding to market forces that could impact India's growth prospects if inflationary concerns were not addressed now. At the same time, by pledging to remain accommodative to spur and reinvigorate growth, reinvigorate means to reinstate or to restart. It has reaffirmed its commitment to being a trusted partner in the growth of the country. We also believe the rate hike will be beneficial for the banking sector as the risk will get repriced properly. However, be prepared for a series of rate hikes now. Okay, so this article is taken from Indian Express, article by Somokanti Ghosh. Okay, so I hope you have taken some notes, the idioms and the antonyms and synonyms which I discussed. So like this, I will try to take articles from other news sections so that, and I will try to prepare questions from them so that you can have a clear idea of how you can do the English section, because ultimately English will be asked from these kind of questions only, these kind of paragraphs or some stories. They will pick up some lines and they will structure the questions accordingly. Okay, so next day I will continue with reasoning and quant and so on. So I will not try to make the video short, not very long, because I know it will be boring if I try to stretch it long, because I can do it at a continuous stretch, but in that way you might lose interest midway. Okay, so thank you, see you in the next session.